Welcome to the Empower Hour, guys. I'm your host, Maile Scarpino. I am here with someone very special. Every guest is special, but just in a different way. This is actually my cousin. It's really exciting. She's Skyping in from Texas. I was just there this past week, so that's why we didn't have a show last week Friday, because I was there visiting my mom and my sisters and my stepdad. So she's Skyping in. I'm really excited. This is Elizabeth.
Hello.
Yay!
Hey, guys.
And we've had kind of a long journey together. I'll do like a little intro here of you, and then you can do your intro too. We weren't very close originally because I have my stepdad, and my stepdad has 7 sisters and brothers or something like that. And then my uncle Kevin, you're his daughter by marriage.
Right.
So it's kind of a really weird how we got to know. Anyways, you're my cousin. So, when I started being raw vegan, we kind of became closer that way, and she would Facebook me or email me, and we would talk about different eating styles. And then when I started getting into bodybuilding, you did too, and kind of like the eating style and things like that, and the training, and then before that you had your thyroid cancer. So, right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it all. We're going to hear about
it's going to come out.
her story. So why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, my name's Elizabeth. I'm actually going to be 27. And I started working out really heavily, obviously. After my cancer, I just had a turnaround within myself that I wanted to change my lifestyle and start really pursuing that to better my health. And
so what was your lifestyle like before?
I mean, there was about 3 years ago with my cancer, so it's been about 3 years. So I was a little younger. I was still going out, partying and a lot with friends and stuff like that, and it was just getting old. I was like, I want more out of life. I didn't know a direction of where I was going. I had been in school and stuff, but still kind of not found my way. And after my cancer, I had like an awakening, as most people would say, after going through something like that. And it just made me think, okay, you only get a chance once to live. Do what you want to do and just go full force for it. So that's pretty much how that happened.
And oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, what was your experience with your cancer? Because I don't think a lot of people talk about that, or if they do, usually they write it in a book, or they don't usually vocalize it. And I know when I saw you, we talked about it, and for me, it was really inspirational to hear your story.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, I feel very blessed, very lucky. I had a rare thyroid cancer. There's 4 thyroid cancers. Mine's out of 2 of them are somewhat common, and then the other 2 are rare. I have a rare one. And being so young, obviously, it was a big concern. And went in for the surgery, didn't know it was cancer as it came back that it was.
Because you were actually getting your hair cut, right?
Yeah, I was getting my hair cut and didn't notice any changes. I was always really thin, but didn't think anything of it. And my hairstylist was like, oh my gosh, your neck is like bulging. You need to go get that checked out. And it's just like, she was like my little angel. So I went, got it checked out. Sure enough, it was something, but they didn't know it was cancer. It's just a nodule I had to get removed. Went through the surgery for that, and when they tested it, it did come back that it was cancerous. So I had to go back in for another surgery and have the whole thyroid removed at that point. And it was a crazy time. And once that happened, I went through all that. I actually went home and had to go again because I had a blood clot that ended up erupting once I left the hospital finally. So there was 3 accounts or 3 surgeries where I was, had to get something done. And at that point, I had a really bad scar. Even my doctor was like, you should go get that checked out and get that fixed. I was like, no way. Like, I went through something that was awesome because it really, taught me a lot about myself and everything else, and really inspired me to do more. And so I was like, hey, it's not on my face, so it's cool, at that point. But ever since then, it was just like I needed to change my lifestyle, going to the way I was eating, reaching out to you, obviously. I wanted to try the whole pescatarian, vegetarian type of eating style, and I really, again, reached out to you, and you were awesome about helping me. That really gave me the insight of what I need to do to go on that track. And then, obviously with the working out thing, I saw you do it and I was like, oh my gosh, my cousin looks fucking amazing. Excuse my language. But I'm like, wow, like I want to look like that. And if she can do it, I'm sure maybe she can help me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just all about communicating. Like, so what do you do exactly? Like, how do you do that? And yeah, you're awesome because you kind of led me into that light. And ever since then, it's been great.
Aw, thank you. And I've loved watching your journey. You've done 2 competitions, and she does
Right.
natural bodybuilding. There's a different, like NPC, I guess they don't really talk about that, but NPC, you don't have to do it all natural. So
Yeah, it's not.
it's very controversial and whatever and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But you do. What is your affiliation?
Well, I'm with the NFF, Natural Fit Federation. And basically it's just an all natural thing. Obviously you get tested, go through that process, but they're just all about the all natural aspect of it. My whole team is, we all work together to just try to take the, right vitamins and eat correctly, obviously, to gain what we need to. Not even depending on protein shakes or anything of that sort.
Which I thought was really interesting. And ever since you said that, like I've kind of been like, oh.
Yeah, and I mean, because when we talked, you were doing the protein shake, and at the time, we were both going through that phase of trying not to eat that much meat or not eating meat at all.
Yeah.
And so
how weird was that for you, the transition? Because I remember like going in and I was like kind of still a vegan, not maybe raw, but I was definitely a vegan still. And they're like, oh, here's your new diet plan. And I was like, oh wait, there's chicken. And then there's chicken again.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, wait, because I told them, I was like, I'm pescatarian. I eat a lot of fish and eggs. That's what I do. I don't really eat meat. And he was like, I'm sorry, like, you're going to have to eat meat. That's basically like, what he told me is very straight up. This is the way that I do it. So he was giving me his insight. He didn't know how to work with me in my diet or give me the tools I would need, I guess, to do it in that manner. There are probably people out there that could, but from the way he does it, he was like.
And I need to find somebody that knows how, because we were talking about that in the car too. Like, how do you get enough protein on a raw vegan diet but keep your carbs low? Because for bodybuilders, it's all scientific, and I know you guys have heard me talk about this before. It's your macros. It's getting the right fats, the right carbs, and the right proteins. So we were just like really curious, and I need to do some research on this about how do you keep your carbs to a minimum but get the right amount of protein in there so that you're still building muscle and keeping a lean diet. So
yeah, I don't if I knew, it would be awesome. I see people that do it. I mean, they're living that lifestyle. I just don't know them well enough, I guess, to ask, but I will be watching to see what you come up with as far as answers on that, because like we were talking about, and I'm just like really interested to know, is it supplements that they're depending on, or, what are they eating so much of? Because even me getting enough protein just when I was living in that lifestyle, it wasn't happening. Like, I mean, there's no way.
It's kind of difficult.
Yeah, so different,
So tell us about your last competition.
Oh, my last competition was so awesome.
You've done 2 so far, and the first one you placed second.
Yeah, I placed second. It was only 5 girls. I mean, it's a natural thing. I don't know if it's. I mean, some shows here are really big. Like I told you, the Phil Heat, they just had 800 competitors. Like to us, that's big. But a lot of the natural shows, they're really small and like upcoming. It's starting to kind of get big here, but it's still, in that line, it's not there yet. So some shows are going to be smaller. You never even know if you're going to be competing. Like you can, pay for everything and get ready to compete, and it could just be you. Like, and I'm sure everything's like that, but in these shows, it's almost like a question of that.
Because that first show you did, I thought this was really funny. One of your teammates who's a figure competitor had to actually step in and do bikini so that you guys could compete, because you need at least 5 people.
Yeah, she took one for the team. She's awesome. We practiced the bikini poses the night before. It was, pretty interesting to see a big figure girl striking the pose as a bikini.
Oh, the bikini girl, there's a big difference.
The big difference. But she did awesome, actually. She actually came in third. We were 5 girls. She came in third place. So that just shows you, like, the competition. So when I got second place on that, I just knew that there was going to be a better opportunity. I didn't understand why I didn't win. But at the same time, I wasn't like, oh, poor me. You know what I mean? It was like 5 girls. Like, I would much rather win against 30 or more. Like, the more the better, because it makes you, it's like, oh, I stood out,
Or I think even just getting the experience, like I was talking to a friend today because I have my show in Vegas, and I'm like, this is what I need to do. Like, I'm stressing out a little bit about it. And he's just like, Maile, you should be happy that you have the opportunity to even go and compete because you're nationally qualified. There's not that many people that get to, compete at this level or that are going to actually go. So you just need to be happy that you get this opportunity. So it is all a mental thing. And I need to start looking at it as like an opportunity to reach out and like help other people. And which I do already, but even more so, like it's not about us really. It's about, showing others that they can do what they want to do.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the whole competing thing is just to push yourself, I think, to get to that next level. Because you always want to, if you have that focus, you're going to stay with the lifestyle and you're going to keep pushing yourself to the limits to better yourself and your body and mentally even. It's a mental challenge to eat right and work out every day. You come to a point where you're about to break. You've worked out so hard. So it's definitely something that mentally challenges you in that aspect. But I definitely agree with you on that, completely.
And then I'm going to brag about you because you won your last show.
Yeah.
You came in first and won $800. Woo woo! That's like awesome.
Birthday money.
Yeah.
I was like, yay!
So
it was awesome. This competition had 8 girls, not that many, but still. 2 of the girls, one had actually won 2 weekends prior in Austin at a bigger show, which it was the Texas Shredder. They have every year, and that was pretty decent size. Like there was at least 20 or more bikini girls there. So she won that one. And then another girl, she got second, and she had placed third in Austin. So I was against some good challenges there with them already having won and, just being on point and stuff. But I just went out. I literally did not think I was going to win. When I tell you I was shocked, I was completely shocked. And I think that's what you said about stressing. Do not stress. Like, go out there and have a good time, be happy, have fun, because when you win, it's like you don't realize. You're like, oh, it's me, like it was crazy. I was like, what? Really didn't expect it at all. So.
It's like anything. It's just keeping a positive attitude and going out there and having fun and enjoying yourself. Because once you get stressed out about it, you lose insight of why you're really there and you can't perform to the way, to your best potential. What I was going to ask you is how do you prepare?
As far as, I guess there's so many aspects to prepare for this. How do I prepare? Mentally, it was very challenging for me to prepare on this round, but I feel like that's because I'm a beginner. But I've also been told that as you continue to do it, it never gets easier. If anything, it gets harder.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like trying to prepare myself for that.
Which I agree with, because when you just start, like when you start anything, you're there just kind of like with no clue about what's going on. And then as you start to get, like now that I'm starting to get into it and I'm starting to know people, I'm like, oh no, she's here. Oh no, this group is here. And it's kind of just better to be like, oh, I don't know anything. That's what I used to do in college for volleyball is people would be like, who are you playing? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm just showing up. They'd be like, you have UCLA this week, Maile. And I'd be like, oh, well, I'm going to play them just like I would play Oregon or Stanford or anybody else. I'm just going to do my job and show up.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to tell myself too for Vegas. It's just, yeah, it's USA's, yeah, it's nationals, but I'm just going to do what I have to do.
Yeah, I mean, and, it's competitive, and you're going to, just like with anything in life, you're going to meet people who are going to be friends with you, and you're going to make great friendships, and then you may meet some people who are going to be envious, and that's life in general, and especially when you throw in competitiveness. And in the sport that we're doing, trying to get up there and win money or whatever it is, and you're going for something like that, you're going to meet the good and the bad, and you really just have to know how to take it. And if you take it and you present yourself in a positive way and you're just that person, I feel like everything will work out for you in the end. Because, and, I'm just using my win as an example. It was like when I won and didn't expect it, I'm very, I was very humble about it and very thankful, you know what I mean? And the girl that had won in Texas, she was just more expecting it, I guess, like the cocky attitude,
Completely.
Thing.
Yeah.
But then that's natural because when you win, you're like, oh yeah, I'm bad, and sometimes it's natural for people to feel that way, but it felt good to win, and it felt good to still be like so shocked that I was in that position at that time. So.
Well, I'm so proud of you, and with that, we're going to take a short commercial, and we'll be right back. I'm Maile Scarpino. I'm here with Elizabeth Charlez, and this is the Empower Hour, and we'll be back in a few.
Inspired by an ancient culture, classical Chinese dance, vigorous physicality, timeless stories. 5,000 years of Chinese music and dance. Shen Yun presents authentic Chinese culture. Coming to Blaisdell Concert Hall, May 8th and 9th. Tickets at shenyun.com or call 808-792-3919.
Aloha, my name is Paul Jackson, better known as PJ, and my local interest is in sports. I have my own sports radio show at KWAI AM 1080 that you can stream live. I also have my own website, pjsportsradio.com. We have live guests in studio, and we talk about discussions and topics that everyone wants to know locally here on the islands. We cover everything from surfing to basketball to whatever's going on locally, sports-wise. We try to do our best and cover the topics in depth as much as we can. Once again, thank you for joining PJ here on Hawaii Sports Update.
3, 2, 1.
Mahalo.
Welcome back to the Empower Hour, guys. I'm your host, Maile Scarpino. I'm here with my cousin, Elizabeth Charlez. She's Skyping in. I almost said phone calling in, which would be completely wrong. She's Skyping in from Texas. And it's actually her birthday this Sunday, so she's going to go celebrate after this interview. So while we were on a commercial, we were talking about her cancer and just how different mentalities can get you in different places in your life. And I was saying that her story and her attitude can really be used in a bunch of different situations and, you know, to influence other people, because she had the can-do attitude and the let me change things and improve things because I have this opportunity, rather than doing the poor me. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, for sure. Basically, we were just talking during the break, and I had mentioned that I feel like a lot of the ways that we react to things are natural. You know, if something bad happens to you, you're going to feel the pity, and you're going to feel pity upon yourself for something that you're going through at the moment. But once you actually think about other things going on, or like how worse it could be, regardless of the circumstances, I feel like you're actually thankful for what you have, and you know, you can not feel that pity, you know, upon yourself, and more so just be thankful to be in the moment. Especially going through like cancer, you don't, like, I could have died the third time I went through surgery. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, and day by day none of us do. But if we just live that day and be positive and kind to one another, then I feel like if, you know, the time is to come, then we'll be much more at peace with everything. You know what I mean? Like, just, I don't know.
I completely agree. Just being the best you every day, regardless of what happens and who's around and what you think you deserve or don't deserve.
Yeah.
And with your scar, like, I thought that was an awesome thing too, that you didn't get it, you know, you didn't go and you get it covered up or anything like that. You left it there.
And there's definitely insecurities there. I mean, that's not something easy. It's definitely healed up a lot. It was like really red, and at the beginning it was just really, really bad looking, ugly, I guess you could say. And like, I would walk around and people would literally, I would see their eyes and they would be staring at it. And that's to me, it's a negative. It's not like, you know, they're like looking for that reason, or even to be asked like, so what happened, you know, outright like that. And it's like, oh, I got in a sword fight and I won, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like
turning it into a joke.
Yeah, like, I mean, you know, come on, like, why are you asking about that? But anyways, yeah, I thought it was good. I actually didn't use that many people told me to use ointments. I did use a little bit of some natural stuff from Whole Foods for the scarring, but very little, and it really healed up nicely. So it worked in my benefit, I guess you can say, you know.
Well, and there's a story behind it, and then it's also showing that you wear your experience, like, you're proud of that. And so, like, yeah, I'm proud of you for being proud of it. I'm like, I think it's the coolest thing.
I had to work towards that point, but now I'm like, I'm all good, you know, like, hey, this is me. I'm proud I went through something, and if people ask, I'll be more than willing to tell them, but I do like to joke about it because it's a funny little thing I can, you know, kind of start a conversation off with. But
and it shows, again, just being positive about life.
Yeah, for sure.
And do you want to talk a little bit about Todd? Todd, I had the opportunity to train with Todd while I was there. It's very old school bodybuilding. We trained out of his garage, and he has everything in his garage set up, and there's a figure girl in there training with us. What was her name again?
Her name's Shell Thompson.
I really liked her. She was awesome. And we did more of a circuit training and did it for time, as many reps as we could. But that was awesome. We show up and he's in his Converse and he's benching and, you know, just doing his thing. And then he's like, okay, let's get you guys started. You want to talk
Yeah.
a little bit about him?
Oh,
And
of course, man. I have to talk about him. He's amazing. I've never met someone who's willing to take time out of their day and be so giving and willing to so many people. He's very passionate, obviously, about bodybuilding, and he's willing to train anybody really who wants to do it. Who comes every day and wants to work hard and follow the diet plan and compete, basically. So he took me under his wing. Again, it just everything fell in place for me after talking to you. It's like I met a bodybuilder, Yolanda. She was like, "Hey, I have a team," and from there I met him, and it's just been great ever since. But we do it out of his garage. He has all the equipment there. It's very old school. It's hot. Texas is humid and hot, but it works. I mean, you're working hard. You go
You're
home
sweating.
drenched. Sweating. It's just like gruely. But you enjoy it. It's so weird how I enjoy that. But anyways, it's an amazing experience. But he's a great guy, Todd Rogers. Much respect for him. I know that a lot of people, he's like one of those guys that's in the shadows. He doesn't work for his benefit. I mean, I'm going on the stage showing but he, of course, he's like, I trained her, but it's more, privilege for me to feel this way and to be here and to be able to do this, and have somebody guide me in that right direction and not expect anything out of me or, a lot of the people that he trains with. And, I'm like, wow, he really teaches me that the whole reason I want to be involved with fitness is to help other people, literally. And by saying that, I mean, even if I was to work a job, a normal job, not with fitness, but just an office job or whatever it may be, Monday through Friday, and still have time. If he can make time to do what he does for me and these girls, then I should be able to make some hours in the weekend to do that for somebody else and change their life and make them feel good and see if they just make little changes here and there and build up to it, they can actually feel great and be motivated to push themselves to do, more as far as healthy, being healthy in general, and then obviously working out and living a fit life like that. So.
Oh, completely. Because he opens his gym up from 4 to 8 for anybody to come in, or he opens.
Yeah, it's about 4 to 7. He opens it up and we go in there and we train, and he has like, a circuit thing or whatever it may be. He tells us what to do and we get it done, and we always have a good time, obviously. And
he competed in men's physique in the past.
Yeah, he still competes. He has a competition in Austin actually in June. So that's coming up. He's not far out now. So yeah, he's training. So imagine, he still works, and he's training himself and training all these other people and still living. It's just so much.
It's pretty inspirational. And he was so loving and willing to he's like, okay, Miley, come on in and train. And a lot of people aren't like that. Just in general, sometimes it can be very closed off and very restricted in what you get to see and what you get to do with different groups training. So I was very humbled by the experience, and he's like, work, over and over again. Let's go, work, pump it out. So that was awesome too, as somebody that's there every single rep with you, watching and pushing you. That's how you dig, let's go. So I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's really inspired me, obviously, like I said, to do good things for people, and just out of the kindness or because it's something that I enjoy and I want to share, not expecting anything out of it. So love you, Todd. I love him. He's awesome.
And we've talked about it a little bit, but how has fitness and health influenced your life and changed it? For the better, for the worse?
Oh, yeah, for the better, for sure. As far as fitness, I don't know, I guess you could say I've gained my confidence. I wasn't the overweight person who lost a lot of weight, but I was the skinny girl who really didn't have a lot of self-esteem and confidence, especially after the cancer thing, just kind of feeling down a lot of times, or what have you. And me getting up every morning and going to the gym, it makes me feel like I did something for myself. That is my me time. And it's become something that I've enjoyed. And it's just inspired me to basically show others, if they make, again, just little changes to their eating habits or working out here and there, that they're going to feel better about themselves. Like, you can't not say that I don't feel good. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes you feel good. And it's definitely changed. Like, I didn't know where I was headed. I didn't know what direction I was going in. And I've definitely decided that training, I want to be a part of it. that's something that I definitely want to do. I want to inspire people just like you've inspired me.
Oh,
You don't know how social media, like, I'm not a big social media. I don't have an Instagram. I'll say it. I don't have an Instagram. People have me. I'm like, I'm hippie. I don't want one.
it's
Whatever.
not a bad thing though.
Yeah, I'm like, do I have to conform? But I'm like, okay, like it makes, but it makes, like, I think about myself. I'm like, well, Liz, like, if Miley didn't have the Facebook and you weren't looking at her and thinking, oh, wow, or let me ask her, like, how would I be so inspired and motivated to do that? You know what I mean? Because that's where it came from. So I get it, though. I'm like, oh, it makes sense. But
because you can definitely influence other people, and you never know who's watching. I think that's the coolest thing. Like, I'll be squatting or something. I had these two guys I was deadlifting the other day, and they were kind of watching me like, yeah, right, this girl is not going to lift this. And I deadlift, and I finish, and they walk up to me, and they're like, what are your weights? What can we change your plates for you? I was like, yeah, sure, change my plates.
Awesome.
And I'm standing there, and they're like, just relax, like, take a breather, we'll change your plates. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And I finish, and they're like, whatever you need help with, like, we're here, we'll spot you. I was like, cool. So it's nice to train and, do your best and influence other people. And then you kind of network, too, and you bring people together, and you make friends.
Yeah.
And then, then slowly but surely the gym becomes a community and not just a bunch of random people training and doing different things.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I've met great people so far. Obviously, a lot of great people. My team, ODF and Todd, they're a big part of that. But yeah, in general, just meeting people and you feel like you're already a part of the community because you know so many people who are living that lifestyle and kind of doing what you're doing. And then even people you don't know. I had a guy walk up to me, hey, good job at the show. I don't know, I don't know you, but he saw me. That's awesome. I was like, really, you saw me? Yeah, good job. And it feels nice. So whether you know it or not, you are a part of the community. And, to me, it would be important to take what I know and be able to share it with the community. So, having an event or even just helping one-on-one people who reach out to me, just giving them a little insight on things that they could change. You know what I mean?
Like, and you're already going to do that because we talked about that with, I never met her. My stepdad has too many family siblings, so you
talking about Julie?
Yeah, Aunt Julie. You're gonna help train her.
Yeah, I'm gonna help. It's her friend. Yeah, her friend. I'm gonna start Monday. I'm gonna start kind of helping her and just showing her little things, and hopefully I can be an impact on her and get her on board. To really seek out what she wants to do and set a goal for herself and reach that. So that'll be awesome.
Because there is a lot of information out there and a lot of knowledge that can be shared, but I don't think we necessarily share it all the time. And I don't know if that's like a stinginess. I don't know. In bodybuilding, at least here, a lot of it is knowledge based, like how well you do. It's, who you know and what you know. And so I feel like sometimes, I feel like sometimes it's kept a secret and you don't share things. And that's with anything, even with volleyball. Like growing up, it was like, oh, Mizuno shoes are better than ASICS shoes, but, you're not going to tell the new people that. I don't know, so you have to, like, go through the transition and try to figure things out on your own. But it would really save people a lot of time and energy if we all came together and just helped out. And,
Oh, for sure. Like I said, you're going to find good and bad people in anything. And, I'm sure, we definitely have that here. I haven't allowed myself to get to that point of being involved in it, or maybe I'm just new to the community, so I don't know much about that. But I've seen it. And there have been things that have happened, but, I just keep my eye on focus, and just try to be positive and keep grounded. I think that's very important. And again, give back. Giving back shows that you're not being selfish. I feel like this
and
is
it is a very selfish sport, so that's why it's important.
I was gonna say, completely. I think about it sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I do more of this than this. Like that's it's crazy, but it's something I really love and I enjoy. If I don't do it, I feel like I didn't brush my teeth or something. It's a part of my life, but that's my personal thing. But I have to balance it out and try to give my time in other places as well, which is very difficult. And I'm sure it's difficult for a lot of us that do this sport because it is selfish, And it does suck, though, I will say, because you'll see people that'll be like, oh, well, it's so selfish, like, and the people that'll tell you that, it's like, you have no idea how it makes me feel. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, I feel great after I do this. And I look great and I feel great and it's changed me. Like, and I have had family members tell me, oh my gosh, like, you look so at peace. You look so happy. You look like, you're really at peace with yourself. And it's brought me a lot of peace. But that's what I enjoy to do, So anything that I think people enjoy to do, find it and just do it. You know what I mean? Whether it's this or whatever you enjoy, like scuba, whatever, just
Scuba.
do it.
We're going to take a short commercial break, and then we'll be right back. I'm your host, Maile Scarpino. I'm here with Elizabeth Charlez, my cousin. Woo woo. This is the Empower Hour, and we'll see you in a few.
Todd Rogers, folks, host of our show at ThinkTech Hawaii called Where the Road Leads, where we talk about technology influencing the future of Hawaii. Technology, of course, is the art of solving problems. We always bring in interesting and informed guests who can see from different perspectives and different points of view how that future might unfold and how technology can assist us in getting there. So once again, join us 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock on Fridays. Ted Ralston, your host. And please, if you have ideas that you'd like us to address on this show or folks who you think should be on it, let us know.
Aloha, my name is Josh Green. I'm a senator from the Big Island and ER physician. Every other Tuesday, I get to host a show here on the ThinkTech program about healthcare. We call it Healthcare in Hawaii. It's really enjoyable for me to bring other healthcare leaders from around the state to talk about our pressing issues. Hawaii has long been the health state, but we need to keep up the momentum, the inertia, and with your help and with your participation, we can come and share all of the big issues that are pressing day to day. Thanks for joining us every Tuesday, alternating weeks from 2 to 2:45.
Welcome back to the Empower Hour, guys. I'm your host, Maile Scarpino. I'm here with my cousin, Elizabeth Charlez. We're having a great time. We're here laughing and not making jokes, but just laughing. Why not? Laugh away. Life is short. Anyways, so the next thing I wanted to ask you is the positives and the negatives that you see in health and nutrition, or we could talk specifically about bodybuilding. I just wanted to hear your opinion on that, because everybody's opinion and perspective is different.
Yeah. As far as pros and cons of it, I think I put a lot of, obviously any bodybuilder, we put a lot of strain and pressure, on ourselves and our bodies whenever we go through this process. Again, it's something that you have to kind of get used to. I don't even think you can get used to it. I think maybe it probably does get harder in general. It probably doesn't get easier, but something that we have to train ourselves on mentally, and come to the point where we can work through it, even though it's difficult. As far as the pro, that's a con. As far as the pros, I would say, obviously, with the cancer thing, I had a guy that posted about how he had high cholesterol, and the doctor wanted to give him medication. It's a fix, in my opinion, for everything, medication, prescription. And he said, no, I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to try it the natural way. I'm going to work out. I'm going to do what I have to do, to try to, bring it down. Sure enough, he, changed his ways, started working out or what have you, and he didn't have to take that medication, proved the doctor wrong. It's known, eating healthy, being active. It's not going to save your life necessarily, because we can't do that, but it will definitely make you live a healthier life and have less chances.
Prolong your life.
It's going to be better, and in my case with the thyroid cancer, I do take Synthroid. I take a medication, but I was told you're going to gain weight, you're going to be sleepy, you're going to feel this way and that way, and it's completely opposite for me. So I'm another example of, how not necessarily, so yeah, I'm big on that, just coming from the health
I'm big on that too.
Yeah.
Why do we push so many medications?
Obviously. Yeah, the prescription drugs and stuff like that, I try to stay away from as much as possible. Only if need be. In this case, I feel that I do. Although I've been looking at some ways to get off of it, because there are some natural ways about that. So we'll see what happens in the future.
Oh, that's really neat.
Yeah, for sure.
Kudos to you. And I love that your affiliation is all natural too. I think that's really important. And I think for like hormone levels and balances, you get in some competitive realms and some places where, they want to take a bunch of stuff, or they do, because they think that's what's going to give them the edge to compete, and that messes up your hormones and the way you think and the way you function. And I have seen it firsthand. I've seen it with some people, and you're just like, oh man, like you're ruining your entire life for one show or for this small period in your lifespan. And you need to think about, family that you want to have, or children, or, what your body language and what this behavior is really saying in society and to the people that you're working with. Because the show is going to end, and you have to live with all the things you said and the choices you made. So I love that your affiliation is all natural, and that they're really looking at your hard work that you put in to build your body. For some people, this is probably a really weird sport and just a really weird idea that you sit in the gym and like try to build muscle and look symmetric.
Yeah.
It kind of is a little strange, but I mean, it's fun.
It definitely is. And I mean, you know, even if I wasn't bodybuilding, I would definitely be active. Like, I mean, we have so much technology, obviously, and everything else. And, you know, jobs consist of sitting in a desk and stuff like that for a lot of people. You know, even if it's a sport or walking the dog or, I mean, just being outside, you know.
Doing something.
After my cancer, I went for a walk every day. I had never done that before. But after I had my cancer, you know, and I was healing, I was off of work. And so every morning I would like go walk and just enjoy the day if it was a nice day, or, you know, just do something like that. Little things like that help as well. So, you know, people don't understand why I go in and do what I do. But at the same time, it's just, I think activeness and as a whole, you know.
And I think we talked about that too while we were eating our meal together after we trained. That was so much fun. I had the best time training with you and then eating. But was that we have the opportunity to. Like, people will ask, you know, why do you go in the gym and train? Or, oh, you're too intense. Or, oh, you know, this hurts. And I'm like, well, I have an opportunity to. Like, there are people that have gone to war and they are amputees. Or, you know, people that have TBIs, traumatic brain injuries from just walking down the street or, you know, whatever. And their life will never be the same. They'll never be able to run or function the same way. And I have the ability to go into the gym and work, or, you know, to inspire other people by working hard. So I'm going to do that. And that's like what you do too, Liz. So
yeah, for sure. You know, it's awesome. It's an awesome feeling. And again, it goes back to, you know, anything can be done. Now, there was a guy that won, I don't remember where it was a show recently, and he had one leg, and then he didn't have it, but he was like really cut and everything. And that was inspiring. It's like, wow, he's still working, and, you know, he's putting in work like that. And I mean, you know, he doesn't have a leg, so that's kind of like inspiring.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. But yeah, I just, you know, I totally feel that I am an inspiration. I've already know that I've some of my friends, I've inspired them to take on the journey. Now, they're not trying to compete, but they're eating healthy, they're being healthy, and joining me on working out and stuff like that. So it definitely inspires some people, you know, who need that change in their life. So I'm happy with that.
I think if we can get, you know, not get it to be a fad, but get it to just be the norm of, you know, this is how you eat, and let's go out and exercise, not like let's go out and drink, or let's go out and
I mean, I think that
watch a movie. If we can do that, and it's like, you know, it just takes a few people, and then those people influence another group of people, and then you have this whole change in society.
Yeah. Making it fun, and that's where, like, one example, like bringing it to the community, throwing an event and making it a fun event, so kids and other even adults can see that being active does not have to be, again, it goes back to we're competitors, we take it to another level, but just to be active and to be healthy for yourself and prolong your life, as you said, you know, just get out there and go play, you know, out in the park, and, you know, do different things like that, and to have a community event where everybody comes together. I think that would be a good way to, you know, bring everybody together and show that it's something fun that can be done. As far as the eating right, I have a thought on that when it comes to raising your kids. I think it's very important to start them off right. You know, don't let them have junk food, and they're going to grow up and not even be missing it. If I would have never tasted a French fry, I may not even want a French fry right now. You know what I mean?
That's what I think too.
Yeah, like totally.
It's whatever you're exposed to.
Yeah, and you know, we can make our own decisions when we grow as adults, but at least when you're a child and you're being raised and shown the right way, because you look at, you know, up to your guardian or parent, adult figure has that what they're doing is okay and right, they're going to see that, oh, we eat fruit, or we eat, you know, different things that are going to be healthier than chips and cupcakes or donuts, or, you know, stuff like that.
Completely.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, talking about events, I'll be working with UFC through Lululemon. We're going to try to do a squat off, since I like to lift. We've been trying to, like, bring different things, you know, people like to do yoga, or people like to do CrossFit, and so I like to lift. And so our community leader was like, Maile, let's do a lifting event. And I was like, yes. So I'm going to try to partner with UFC, and we're going to do a squat off. So
So awesome.
If somebody's watching this and you train at UFC and you want to do a squat off, hit me up because you can enter.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Do that.
So we kind of talked about this already. We have about 4 minutes left.
Okay.
How important do you think health and nutrition is on a whole? I wanted to ask you that. We've kind of basically answered that. But then I also wanted to ask you a little bit about like the mental component to your cancer and how you got through that mentally, because I'm sure it was all a mental push.
Yeah, it was. Mentally, as far as the cancer and everything that I've gone through, I was just able to, mentally think to myself how lucky I was to be where I'm at. And it's crazy how when you come close to the end of something, your appreciation for it is so much more than what it was before.
Because you didn't really say in depth, like she made it seem not as bad as it really was. You had,
I know. I talk
you
about
went
it so
home
freely.
and went to sleep after the operation, and Nancy was like, let's take a shower, and you were like, no, I don't want to take a shower. I'm going to lay here and sleep. And then she got you out of bed and realized that you were profusely bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
And then that's
I
when
had
they...
a blood clot, was falling in and out of sleep. It was horrible. I mean, I feel very blessed. I feel very lucky. I'm very free-spirited anyways, so I think that obviously shows my character. But the whole cancer thing, it's really given me more appreciation for life in general and to do what I truly enjoy. And I have found something as far as bodybuilding. And it's so awesome to meet people like yourself and be like, yeah, I like to live, like, ooh, yoga, nah, like, this is what I'm into. And that's just me because, it's just everybody has their own thing. And so I feel so lucky to have met so many people that enjoy what I enjoy, and I'm around them, and I'm surrounded myself with positive influences and people who are going to push me and get me where I want to be as far as my own goals. And not only that, but on a daily basis to just have that support, is awesome. It's an amazing feeling. And, again, going back to you because you're so awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck in your show for sure. And we're all going to be watching you. And not only that, but for me to be able to reach out to you and you to help me, again, it goes back to we should help each other and not be so selfish and stuff like that. Just be kind and let people in on it. If they're going to question you and stuff, be nice about it. I mean, some people, it takes a lot to ask. It took a lot for me to reach out to you. Again, we weren't that close, but I saw you. I thought you looked amazing. And I took the chance and said, hey, you look great. Can you help me? And you were there to help me. If it wouldn't have been for you to open those doors, who knows, maybe the doors would have opened in the future, maybe not, but you started it and you got me on the right track, and that's awesome. So.
Thank you. You're giving me shiver bumps. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad. And now we get to do this together.
For sure.
What is the number one thing you would tell somebody who is fighting cancer? Like, what would you say to them?
Oh, that's hard. So many things. What would I say? Sometimes I feel still there's not much I can say, even though I should have more to say because I've been there myself. But for me, it's like, what can you say? Basically, keep faith, stay positive, and just smile. Make sure to smile and be loving every day. And the hardest part is if you come through that cancer, to continue to be that way, because naturally we go back to bad habits or traits and stuff. So just remember what happened and what you went through and how blessed you are, or you feel at least, to still be here and, be able to take a walk or be active or be with family and friends or whatever the case may be. So I think it's very important to keep faith and just keep a positive outlook on it.
Well, you definitely inspired me now for the day. Like, I'm ready to go take on my lift. I'm like, come on, Chris, make me deadlift 300 pounds. I can do it. So thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. You're a wonderful, bright spirit, and I love you. And I'm so proud of you, and I wish you luck in your next show, whatever one you decide to do, and train hard with Todd. And
yeah, you'll have to get him on here. I should say that.
I should. That's a really good idea. We'll do it.
He's awesome. But yeah.
Well, this is the Empower Hour, guys. I'm your host, Maile Scarpino, and I was here with my cousin, Elizabeth Charlez, and we thank her and have fun. Birthday weekend.
Bye.
Bye.